Whew. Good morning. It is early.
Well, the top shot streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Devlar, to Jump Shoot, to We the People, my guy Stubbs, Pack Drip. Salute to you. We have J Bus. We got Rowdy Rod, DJ Logo. We got To the House, Airplane Mode, my guy. Got a lot of people in here. Blaze, hell yeah. Courtside, good morning, guys. All right. So instead of doing I was tempted to do an hour of political or politician impressions, but I think Tandy got that covered yesterday. So I think today we focus on Top Shot. So right off the bat, I think we should talk about it's tired, Blake. It's tired. Right off the bat, I would think we should talk about these challenges that are going on because we have them ending in a bit. So let's take a look on Own the Moment, Team Hold, and Top Shot Tank, sponsored by Own the Moment. Shout out to them. So right away, right off the bat, we have the LeBron James challenge, which is going on. And I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this, so I wanted to jump right into this because I think this challenge is particularly interesting. So one, I think the completions are going to be about 500, which is kind of crazy because we know the bottleneck, which is Blake Griffin, is 301. So right off the bat, this one's not even going to be close to the bottleneck. In fact, it's going to be a little higher than a lot of the other squad goal challenges. So LeBron's not going to be the bottleneck, even though he's going to cost way more to complete than any other player, I believe, in this entire set. I don't see Jokic or Joel Embiid or Booker or Middleton or any of them like really, really pushing the envelope there. And then, so right off the bat, not going to be the bottleneck, is way more expensive. And on top of that, you have to burn a LeBron rare. Now, I think the current lowest rare, I guess, is his 2021 All-Star Game moment, which originally had over 2,000 in circulation. But a lot of people, if we go to the LeBron James rare specifically on OTM, a lot of people have been burning this 2022 All-Star moment. And as you can see, the original circulation before burning was like 1,200. It was significantly lower than this All-Star game right here. And this one got burned so much that it's become the new bottleneck of the All-Star set. So I just really quickly want to run through this because I think, one, this is like the first time we're seeing this, and it's not going to be the last. I think Veerman tweeted about this, and him and I were in the DMs discussing it. but this really adds like a very, very new dynamic to Top Shot going forward. And I think watching this challenge is super crucial for your collecting strategy because, I mean, this is LeBron. This is the cream of the crop. This is the best player on NBA Top Shot. And if people are burning this moment and making it a new bottleneck, it seems like it seems like a very interesting thing to study because we're going to see it over and over again, and based on how this behaves, it can be a real tool moving forward. So one thing that's interesting is this hasn't gone up too much, but the Steph Curry, which was the original bottleneck, has actually dipped a bit. I think it's under 300 now, and at one point it was in the 400s and then the 300s before the Bernie Challenge even started. So I think that's interesting. I think another interesting thing is I was mulling over this in my head, and I realized that like so there are too many LeBron rares, correct? There's too many LeBron moments on the platform. You could say the same thing about someone like Giannis. It's way too many Giannis moments, way too many Giannis rares. But this process does not eliminate any LeBron rares from circulation. All this does is you're burning one LeBron, and then the Lakers rare or the team LeBron rare is kind of the one that actually gets burnt and not replaced. But the LeBron you're burning is getting replaced by the squad goals LeBron. So at the end of the day, we're still going to have too many LeBron rares in play. Yeah, we're going to have less LeBron commons below the 15K. I think that's kind of cool. They're even burning some regular commons, et cetera, et cetera. But we still have the problem, and we're going to have this with Giannis and all the big stars, specifically that had a lot of rares in Series 1. We still have the problem that there are too many rares for certain players. So how does that get solved? Because you can't tell someone to burn 2 LeBron rares to get 1 LeBron rare. I don't think most people shouldn't do that. I'm sure there are some people, because we've seen people just ape into these squad goal challenges. I guess if you're collecting the whole set, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, exactly. I mean, jump shoot. The good news is I don't think LeBron's getting into the playoffs this year. He didn't get in last year, so that kind of helps a bit. But I do think, oh, interesting. Okay, Real Rad Dad, I like this. I like this, but how do you think that works? I'm just curious. Do you think we're burning rares and then you're going to get a rare pack as a reward, or how does that work? Because I think the thing is, like, we have to like LeBron and Giannis are the best examples. LeBron rare is like worth its weight in gold. Like I said, he's arguably the best player on the platform, and we've seen that. Like, I think his lowest rare is so much higher than anyone else's. Even LaMelo's lowest rare is like 200. LeBron's lowest rare is like 450 now. So the only way, the reason I want to talk about this, because I was thinking about this, and the only way that they're able to effectively reduce circulation is by providing that upgrade. And in that sense, that's like, hey, burn a LeBron rare or burn 2 LeBron rares, burn some other stuff, and then you're going to actually be able to upgrade to a legendary. I think another way they could do it, kind of bringing in what Real Rad Dad said, I think when LeBron breaks that all-time scoring record, I think there's a good chance that they're burning all the moments you use for that, or at least some of them. I know we're going to get hybrid challenges in the near future, but I definitely could see them saying, hey, burn because with the Curry, there was an all-star Curry, there was the run it back Ray Allen you needed. There was a couple moments, and I could see them at least turning that into a burn a couple LeBron rares, and in exchange you get this LeBron breaking the all-time points record. It's going to be extremely, like, the mint's going to be very low. et cetera, et cetera. I mean, rewards could be a number of things that doesn't add moments to the platform. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's burning a LeBron rare for an allow list spot, to be honest. But I do like this thinking. I've been a pretty big proponent of saying that flash challenges shouldn't always necessarily just add more moments to circulation, whether they've already been minted in packs, such as packs. So if you're getting packs, you're just bringing those into the supply, but they're already minted, or with the metallic silver Phantom Edition, where they were creating more supply to reward you for like collecting expensive moments, which I thought that was really cool at first when it started off with a bang with Curry breaking the 3-point record, and that was like very exciting. But then very quickly, I think all those metallic silver Phantom editions, besides the Clay and the Curry, at least in my opinion, and I know there are people who really like the set, but to me, it's only the Clay and the Curry that really, really seem to matter. And yeah. So I agree with this jump shoot, and that's kind of the catch-22 is like how do we actually get rid of stuff? I guess locking is the key there, but you can't, like, if you move on your, maybe you burn legendaries and then you get the platinum ice. Maybe that's how they figure it out. If it's pack reward and they're 3, okay, well that's great. That's great. I did hear Matt say some stuff about the flash challenge. I must have not caught that. So I think that's really good. That's a good move in the right direction, where they're being conscious about that. Colton saying burn his TSD. This Devlar, smart. I think you'd have to burn a Giannis rare and a LeBron rare to try and get some of those numbers down. And yeah, let's see. Sorry, the chat's coming in fast and furious. You need to get another type of token for burning. It's the only way for people to want to burn and have it make sense. Yeah, and I agree. Kind of what you and Real Rad Dad are saying is, like, I think the way to really do it is to offer like IRL events or opportunities or other things besides other moments. Because Top Shot has kind of made it clear for the most part that they're not going to be in the game of upgrading, at least based on what they've said in spaces and what they've shown through current challenges. Like, every rare that we're getting through squad goals, you're burning multiple rares. So you're turning multiple rares into one, as opposed to like burning 10 rares and getting a legendary, or burning a ton of commons and getting a rare. That's one of the things I've really, really liked about UFC Strike is they're like, hey, burn 5 Patty Pimblett common moments, burn 10 Hamzat common moments, and you can turn that into a rare moment. I think that's really, really cool. Platinum Ice, basically Gnome, I believe that they are Top Shot. Whenever a new moment is made, they mint a 1 of 1 of every single moment, and it's a Platinum Ice. It's never been released to the public, and I know Janie has talked about lighting them on fire, which is an interesting thought. I'm not completely opposed to that, but they're 1 of 1s. They're 1 of 1 moments. Yeah, regulator, exactly. But the problem that I'm pointing out, or not a problem, but just something to keep in mind, is that you're not the LeBron rare circulation, or the total amount of LeBron rares does not get reduced at all. So you're burning a Lakers rare and then a LeBron rare, and you're getting a LeBron rare back. So I think some of these bigger players who have like let me pull up my screen again. These are all the LeBron rares that you could burn. like there are so many options here. And yes, like a lot of these, it wouldn't make sense to burn. They're very expensive. They're very limited already. But when you add these numbers up, that circulation goes up pretty quickly. And it's just like, and this is supposed to be a generational product. So how many rare LeBrons can we make until, um, it's just oversaturation? And obviously the answer to that is like there needs to be more users. And on top of that, like, yeah, there's certain players, like specific moments that will hold value. And I think long term, a lot of them won't. Um, 80 and Strike learned from the mistakes. Why doesn't Top Shot learn from the successes of other platforms? So I think they are, We the People. I do think that it is a little different. Like, it's easy for UFC Strike to be like, oh, let's create some more rares, because they're creating rares of players that don't have them. Paddy Pimblett didn't have a rare. Hamzat didn't have a rare. So it's super easy to be like, oh, here's burn these commons and you get a rare, because there's no worry about a oversupply of rares. But we've had 3 series of NBA Top Shot compared to like not even a full series of UFC Strike or NFL All Day. And even then, like, and UFC Strike's kind of correcting the mistake they made with overminting Series 0. And then All Day, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like, they burned like very few moments, but they're also trickling out the remaining, and they change their roadmap to not like immediately flood the market. And Roy says, summer crafting has been really boring so far, apart from the players I knew I was going to do, but I guess it's better than nothing. Yeah. So I would say the squad goals burning challenges is kind of just like a gateway, almost, I would say almost for Top Shot to test things and just make sure everything's running smoothly. And they gave themselves a nice long runway, which I actually really appreciate, because that's a good way of planning things. I think once we get into the hybrid burn challenges is when things will get a lot more interesting. I have not completed a burn challenge for squad goals, at least. I've sold any floor, like if I have a floor rare and I can use it in that challenge, it gets sold because I've realized it's a moment that I'm not excited about long term. So, for example, this LeBron James one I actually can complete, and I actually stacked in preparation for it, but I did not burn, and I won't be selling. So I bought a 7,500 LeBron from PPE, actually. So thank you, PPE. I bought 2 no look 3 LeBrons. I bought 2 playoff LeBrons, because I figured that they would do some sort of below 15K like common moment to burn. I was hoping, I didn't realize it was going to be, or I thought it would not just be limited to the base set. So that's why I bought the playoff moments. But I figured that this was probably the lowest that these LeBrons would be. So even though I didn't plan on doing the challenge, I also didn't buy to profit. I just bought more because I knew these were going to get a bump and we might never see them get lower again. Let me catch up on the chat. Donovan Mitchell has burned 2 Mitchell rares. I mean, that's good. Yeah, that's true. But like I said, I think Donovan Mitchell is not even like, there are certain players that have a lot more rares than the rest of the players. And it usually is like the stars. Like anytime you include LeBron in a set, it's a cooler, more exciting set. LeBron in the throwdowns instantly makes the series 3 throwdowns like an interesting set to collect. It's the same thing with Luka, same thing with Giannis, same thing with Ja. Like, so as a result, they're just like, I think the top players have the most moments, which, I mean, duh, but when it comes more specifically to rares and legendaries, that becomes a bigger deal than the commons, I would say. Yeah, so for series one, it's, I don't know how they do this. So I think for series 1, it's still only 1 moment, because they have a common, a rare, a legendary, and a platinum ice. But after that, every moment only has 1 tier. So even if they're minting, I would think I would have to look into that, dive down that whole wormhole. But I'm pretty sure that there's only one per play. Yeah, exactly. To the house, I agree. This is the very first iteration of burning. Not too concerned myself. It wouldn't shock me. This is not financial advice, but it wouldn't shock me if they reward the people who've collected the entire squad goal set. Just kind of as a, hey, like, we realize that this is a little negative EV, but thank you for jumping on and taking a spin with us. Because, yeah, I mean, I think pretty much every squad goals challenge except the Blake Griffin and maybe this LeBron. I could see this LeBron being more valuable than the moments that were burned, but pretty much all of them, the moments that get burned are not going to equate to the value of the squad goals moment, at least right now in the short term. So we definitely don't need upgrade challenges to add more rares of stars. Yeah, correct, exactly. And that's like that, like, to that point, that's why Top Shot can't just look at Strike and be like, oh, like, look at that, like, let's just do that, because it just moves the problem upwards, which actually makes it a bigger problem. Like, oversupply of commons is not nearly as big of a deal as oversupply of rares. Oversupply of rares is not nearly as big of a deal as oversupply of legendaries. So I'm trying to catch up. NFL all day and UFC Strike feel more exciting. How much of that is they are doing things better? I would say you could say they're doing things better. It's not a completely like out of left field argument. You could say that there are less moments per player, but I honestly think the reason why it's more exciting is because it's new. Like, they just released a Christian McCaffrey all day debut, and people are like very excited about that. When they release Christian McCaffrey's moment, his next moment, unless it's like in the playoffs during a playoff run, no one's really going to care. It's just exciting because it's new, it's shiny, it's really it's like there's a lot of like hopium around it. I mean, I'm very bullish, extremely bullish on all day. I've packed my all day bags pretty heavy this last month or two. But I do think just a big part is like people are excited for something new. There are people like who are way more into football than they're into basketball, or people are way more into UFC than into Top Shot. But also, yeah, they clearly. Oh, I might have to look into this shit. A $20 Smush Parker cameo sounds pretty great. And yeah, it's coming, Borland. You know, we gotta one thing at a time. Wow, sorry, I'm falling behind here. There was a point in time I thought Dapper required burning 2 LeBron rares. Yeah, so Steve, there was a time to talk about this. There was a time on the other side of things where I thought they wouldn't require a single LeBron rare, because they had said when they like were talking about these upcoming challenges, hey, they're all going to cost about the same, but we're going to make them different so it's hard to guess. So I was like, man, are they just going to burn like a ton of commons, because a LeBron rare is $300, $400, while most of these squad goal challenges cost like $150 to complete. So, and I mean, they ended up doing it, which I feel like they had to do, because yeah, just adding more LeBrons to the pile is not necessarily the move in the short term, at least. Interesting, Brent. I wonder if that's actually going to mean anything. That'd be kind of cool if there was some sort of all-star reward related to those 2 team leaderboards. I'm excited once player leaderboards release, once team checklists release, like once those leaderboards really get fleshed out and we kind of see where everything is. I think that's when I start to get really excited. I did lock my very first set. I locked my Summer League set after a lot of debate, even on the Top Shot Top Shot Tank show we did, we talked about it, and I was on the fence, and I ended up locking it because quickly was required for this challenge, and I realized, you know what, I don't want to sell this moment. I don't see myself selling the set. It has some sentimental value, so let me just lock it up now, get some rewards from it instead of just having it sit in my account and probably not get sold. So yep, that's been the move. I do wonder if they're going to burn some of those quickly, not quickly, Isaac Okoro fandom moments, because they're significantly minted higher than the rest. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see in general. Like I said, I think right now the squad goals is very much a test. Like obviously it's a cool set. It's a really good way for them to start the burning process, but I think this is them just kind of making sure they got everything in line, making sure burnings worked, finessing and getting those challenges like more perfect. So like it's worth burning. Uh and I think I I'm so curious. I'm so curious to see this Top Shot in series 4 use that as an opportunity to like fix certain sets. And by that I mean we have let me pull it up. Let me see if I can find this. Let's go to market, let's go to sets. We'll go to the summer of 21 set. All right. Don't rug me. Here we go. All right. So once those moments load, so this set is only 5 moments. As you can see, I have them locked, which I think this is actually pretty cool from OTM that they can look at that. But if we sort by circulation, we can see that this Isaac Okoro is minted literally 6 times the amount of any other moment in this set. And there's part of me that's kind of excited to see if they use this to like fix this set. Like in series 4, do they burn? Oh gosh, my Wi-Fi's looks like it's bad. Hopefully it's all right. But in series 4, do they use this opportunity to burn a bunch of these Isaac Okoro moments and make it a little more in line with the Bulbul? So it'd still be the highest minted moment. It would still be the lowest priced moment. But even if they burn like half of these, it makes it way more in the ballpark of the rest of the set. And I wonder if Top Shot goes ahead and does that. Do they decide, hey, like this set was minted a lot more than we thought? Let's make it a much cleaner set in the long term. So for example, they did that Rim Shakers burn challenge where they're like, hey, we got a lot of these Jalen Greens. Can we burn a bunch of them? And suddenly, I mean, it's got a long ways to go, but suddenly that set becomes a little more succinct. So I think that's interesting. Where do you stand on the conflict between being top 750, for example? Multiple teams are trying to consolidate in order to be top 100 in one team. That's a good question, Noam. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for that because I am, until further notice, I think I'm out on the leaderboards. I did not chase leaderboards when collector score was a thing, and I don't think I'm going to chase leaderboards now. That could change. I'm waiting until the checklist release before I do anything. So I have, like I said, I have my one set locked, but that doesn't put me anywhere close on any leaderboards. And there's zero chance I'm locking anything until checklists are released. We see those numbers take a boost as the team sets and the bonus scores come into place. You kind of see where that actual floor is. And then you can make an actual assessment on your own without like trying to guess, because I think a lot of things are going to happen when the team checklists release. I think we're going to see people panic or adjust or whatever you want to call it, where they see, oh, look at this, like I dropped a bunch of spots, or wow, I dropped out the 750 because I don't have this whole team set locked. And they're either going to lock the moments that they didn't, or they're going to go buy those moments and lock. And it's going to, I think the floor for number 750, like from 700 through 750, is going to astronomically increase because like team set bonuses are going to be a thing. And once those are out, that's going to be the floor. You have to have enough TSS of that team set bonus locked to make into the top 750. So I'm just not, I'm just not, I'm just slow rolling it. I'm just slow rolling it. I believe they did do this, J Bus, where you got to burn 10 or 20, oh, no, it was 50, I think, Dwayne Wade's for the Tyler Hero squad goals moment. I actually really liked that. I thought that was really, really cool. And yeah, exactly. This is kind of to my point, Jonathan. I do think the top 100 is going to be way, way tougher than it appears. And there's just too many variables out there to really like hone in and figure out what you want to do. I got a cough real quick, so let me. All right, we're back. Oh yeah, hero drop, of course. Let me see if I can find these. I was looking at these this morning. There's just so many videos, and I do not know what almost any of them mean. Shout out Rock and Roll for just delivering nothing but bangers. Let me catch up on the chat here. I only top on but covering a lot of those in my tops 750 on 2+ teams. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, Colton. But I think regardless, I think you just have to like there's not a rush to lock. There really isn't. Because leaderboards are not even fully out. Once team checklists are a thing and once player leaderboards are out, it just changes the whole gamification and like strategy behind the whole thing. There might be people right now who are crushing it on the team leaderboards, but the player leaderboards come out and they realize that's what they're pursuing. Well, if they're doing that, suddenly you don't have to compete with those people. Or vice versa, you're on the team leaderboard, you're trying to figure out what you're doing, team checklists come out, and then player leaderboards come out, and you realize, wow, I'd have to buy this expensive bottleneck moment in order to get my team set, or I could use that money and buy a player I actually really like and end up in the top like 100, 200 for this player, especially if it's not a player like LeBron or Giannis. Like, if your favorite player is, I don't know, Jamal Murray or like Donovan Mitchell or a player I would say who's like an all-star caliber player, but maybe isn't like the most exciting, most expensive moments, like you might have an opportunity to make some progress there. So you might even change your strategy. I locked the summer 21 set with the moments we got from Vegas. It was just, I realized it was sentimental. First moments I appeared in. I don't think I'm ever going to sell it. So I just locked it. We'll see how it goes. And no, this is not, this did not go. I made that pillow by myself. It's a pillow that I cry into when I make a bad trading decision. All right, let's catch up. Jeez, there's a lot. Are you collecting trade tickets for S1 packs? I am not, Colton, yet, but I am very interested in that. Very, very interested in that. And I have some ideas behind it that I definitely am going to try and flesh out as that approaches. I'll be more into burning when they make the requirements more broad. Yeah, and I think this will be interesting, Borland. Like I said, when they're doing hybrid challenges and when they're doing like burn a bunch of worthless, boring commons for something that's a little more exciting. Like even to Rad Dad's point that he brought up earlier, if they do like, hey, burn this many 60Ks or burn burn 3 Hustle and Show Series 2 and you get a free Hustle and Show Series 4 pack or something like that. That's when it gets a little more interesting for me as well. I just like they're even so the Chris Middleton squad goals is coming up kind of soon. Early on stacked 4 Chris Middleton all-star moments because I figured they're definitely burning these. I think I'm right. I don't know. I'm already up pretty good, and I think they'll go up more if I'm right. But I still like even if I have duplicates, I'm still not interested in burning rares on my end of things at least. And maybe that's just because that's the way I collect. While I do have a decent sized collection, I'm not necessarily a whale, so burning a rare, like I can feel it a little more in my gut. So maybe that's why, but I am way more interested when it's like commons for common, because that's typically the way I collect. And even then, it's if I don't want that specific common moment or pack or experience or whatever they're offering, I can sell those commons and consolidate into something I'm excited about. Um, Reward, so 50 people. Yeah, so Janie talked a bit about this at the live show, and I think Mike's mentioned this too, where it's like they're not going to they're going to try to like, yes, they're obviously going to reward the whales because you need to. Like there needs to be a reason to be at the top. And even though you can't necessarily compete with those people, which kind of sucks, them competing to be in the top helps Top Shot overall as a platform and helps your collection because it makes your moments more valuable because whales are competing for those spots. So I think that's important to realize. I think too often people have this like it's us versus them approach, but we're actually all kind of on the same team. Like everyone collecting, no matter how big or small their collection is, and them being excited to collect and thinking that locking is worth it is a good thing. But I do think, like I said, Janie addressed that and said, hey, we want to reward all types of collectors. We're not trying to exclude like people who maybe don't have as big of a collection. But I'm sure there will be times where like people that tend to be whales get some special rewards as they should. And there's going to be there's going to be plenty of opportunities, I think, for people in the top 1,000 or maybe even more. Like, yeah, the TSDs are going to be rares, but what if they do like, I don't know, top 2,000 on the list, get like a team fandom moment that's not a TSD. Like there's really a lot of opportunity. And I think Top Shot is committed to rewarding all collectors based on how they collect. And that's kind of the beauty of all these systems we have in play is like you can actually collect what you love and be rewarded for it. There's not this game of, oh, let me find the inefficiencies and then buy these moments to kind of like, this just makes so much sense. I can't collect what I love type of deal. Like, oh, like I love this team, but stacking, I love the Hornets, but because of collector score, it doesn't make sense for me to buy Hornets moments because they're inflated because of the team collector score bonus. But now, like, it's a lot easier to buy what you love. And I think that is a step in the right direction. Win team checklist and bonus. They said early August. It's August 9th. Any day now. It could be this week. It could be next week. I don't have any insider information here, unfortunately. Oh wow! Congratulations, Blaze. What a massive W. Shout out to the Steady Breaks guys. Those guys are hustling. They have been working. They've been working super hard. They've been going to some trade shows. I saw that they went to the Lakers team meetup at Top Golf and did like a live pack group there. So huge shout out to those guys. They were super cool to meet in Vegas, and it's really cool to see Top Shot empowering them to go and do marketing for them, basically, because they're partnered with Top Shot. They sent them to that huge collection thing, and it seemed like they did a really good job of kind of saying, hey, like, this is why we think Top Shot is the future of sports memorabilia collecting to a certain degree. Because I saw Veerman. I think he was on the morning marketplace or happy hour or something like that. But he was basically saying, yeah, like, look, the thing that's the most valuable about this is not that it's like a digital YouTube clip. It's that it has the NBA official license, and whatever has that license makes it more valuable because it makes it legitimate. And I definitely agree with that. And I thought that was a really interesting point that I kind of knew in my head, but I never had heard someone verbalize. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, this Borland I think is super, super cool. I've seen team captains like requiring you to lock full sets, and then shouts out to them because they are going into Top Shot manually and checking. Like they're doing their own like snapshots, but these snapshots, like they don't have the software to like actually do. So they are spending the time going and checking to make sure people have locked their sets in order to hold exclusive contests for them. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's when leaderboards start to actually hold like value and might be worth it. Because I personally am in the camp that I think people will be disappointed in leaderboards rewards more often than not. Not because Top Shot's not going to do a great job, but I think people just expect too much and aren't realistic about things. Like, for example, these team TSDs are going to be out of 750. Yes, they're going to be cool. Yes, they're going to be unique. Yes, they're going to be TSDs, but they're not going to be worth like incredible amounts of money. I think a lot of them are probably going to be in the 100 to 200 range. There's going to be a couple special ones where they could be worth a little bit more, like the Lakers one. Seems to be a lot of people on the Lakers leaderboard that are really like throwing some crazy moments that they're locking in order to get on that leaderboard. So that one could be more. But I don't see a world where those moments like come in and everyone's super happy about their reward, and no one's feels a little gypped, because that's what we do as Top Shot users, right? We get super excited about things. We build these unrealistic expectations, and then something releases, and the market's going to market, and people find out, oh, this isn't as highly demanded as I thought it would. I think people are kind of finding out with the squad goal moments. I think a lot of those are sitting at, let me look actually. I haven't looked in a while, but I think a lot of those are sitting below 100, and it pretty much always has costed like 150 to create one of these. So okay, I see that I do see that the floor has risen. I feel like not that long ago I saw a bunch in the 70s. So this is encouraging to see. It's very encouraging to see that pretty much besides these two outliers, it's like 120. And this Tyler Hero cost 120 if you went the Dwayne Wade route, like burning all of those. So that's actually pretty cool. That's really exciting to see. That a lot of these are kind of somewhat worth it, or like in the ballpark. I would be interesting. I might on my own time go through some sales numbers and see why that's the case. Are there people stacking it? Let's see. Yeah. I'm catching up on the chat. No idea, honestly, Shiggins, what my whale threshold is. I use it more as a pure term than like actually like drawing a number, but it's just someone that it's all relative, right? Like someone that has a way bigger collection than me, I would consider a whale, while that person might not consider themselves a whale because they don't have a collection nearly as big as some other people. So it's just more of like when I say whale, I'm more of referring to people that can just have more bandwidth than me. Like they can collect more, they have more moments to sell, to gather dapper, to buy other moments. Like they just have more resources available type of deal. Yeah. So, they are usable in regular flash challenges for the specific player. I think it was unfortunate that the playoffs you couldn't use them. But yeah, if you need a rare of that player, they're often more often than not, they're the cheapest entry point for that player. For example, the LaMelo All-Star moment is the cheapest LaMelo rare. So if a LaMelo rare is required in a future flash challenge, that's the one that is most accessible. Yeah, and I almost made this move, regulator. I ended up holding my LaMelo All-Star moment just because I kind of saw what happened with the jaw one, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that because the jaw Morant All-Star moment is still, I think, at like 290, which is kind of crazy. But let me pull this up. If we look at the LaMelos, you can see that that All-Star moment is still sitting. I think it peaked at like 230. It's still sitting at 210, and the squad goals is at 265. So if I really wanted to, I could sell this moment and jump 2 spots to the next one if I really was trying to get that moment. So I don't think it's out of reach either. And I think that's another important thing to consider. It is not burn or don't burn. You can burn, you can sell, you can hold, you can delay your sell. Like if I wanted to, like I said, if I wanted to make the move and I had like 50, 60 extra dapper, I might consider, oh, you know what? Let me upgrade LaMelo rares. But it's not burning, locking, like all this stuff. You don't have to do it all. But what it does is it creates opportunities for you to approach things more specifically to how you want instead of Top Shot putting up like guardrails and being like, okay, like realistically, like you have to do it this way, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. It would be kind of a waste of your time and your money to collect differently than the way that we've set it up. But now with the way they've ripped off some band-aids, which has been rough, but it's a much more sustainable, much more unique experience for the user. And I think that's very, very cool. Let's see. Seeing that less than 750 people did the LaMelo squad goals craft, I'm very confident that those that want to qualify for the team leaderboard will be able to. Yeah, and that's a really good point, Phil. I think if you have collected what you love and you have a lot of moments from a specific team, I do think most people, I mean, the Lakers leaderboard is that's going to be a whole different story. I think what's another, like the Celtics one might be really rough. The Bucks are like pretty fierce. There's a lot of like really passionate Bucks collectors. So there's some outliers for sure, but I do agree. I think a lot of these team leaderboards, like if you have a collections like focused on that team and you have the team set, I think you should probably be able to get in. But once again, I just would slow roll it. If you have any doubts at all, like there is no rush to lock. They have not released team checklists. Do not put yourself in a situation like some of these people on Twitter who have locked and are already tweeting at Janie saying, hey, can we have like an unlock feature? No, you can't. That defeats the entire purpose of locking. So there's no rush. The first challenge rewards don't happen till October. I believe Top Shot is going to telegraph it. I think they're going to tell you exactly when they're doing the first snapshot, or maybe not. Maybe they'll keep it to like the beginning of October, make it a little vague. But regardless, you're going to have time. You're going to have plenty of time to figure out a strategy, to crunch the numbers and figure out exactly where you land and what you need to do in order to secure that top 750. Yeah, the guys at the top of the leaderboard are buying legendaries, but that's also just a very small group of people. That's not the top 750. Yeah, this one was rough, Jonathan. I ended up selling my Time Lord dunk. I might go and buy it back at some point, but right now it just made sense to sell. But yeah, it's tough. I think a lot of these in every single burn challenge so far, I've either been like, you know what? I don't need this moment. This moment doesn't excite me. I'm going to sell it. Like the Mo Bamba squad goals. I had a Mo Bamba throwdown that I believe I bought for like 39 bucks. And so I technically had like a very cheap way to complete the squad goals challenge, but I sold it because I was like, you know what? Mo Bamba is not one of my favorite players. This doesn't excite me to have this moment. So I think I'm going to sell. And then on the other side, like the LaMelo, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather have this LaMelo all-star moment than take a risk because I think it's a good moment. It's his cheapest rare, and I actually really like that all-star set. I have most of it still. Um if only limbs, if only. I'm all right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I bought a new surge protector, and I thought it would stop this, but yeah, my computer's been crashing lately. It sucks. All right, we're back. We're back. What were we talking about? We're talking about burning. Let me. Okay, the chat is fire. You guys have been great. But I was talking about the decision to burn or to sell, and I'm just saying that I haven't gotten to a point where I've wanted to burn. I either want to hold the moment or I want to sell the moment because I'm like, you know what, this is a moment I don't want long term. And I think that's okay. I think that's what's really cool about how Top Shot like works now. I think there's no wrong decision. Before, when you opened a pack and there was a challenge, you either had to sell or you kind of had to complete the challenge. You couldn't do anything else. Like holding was dumb because as soon as the challenge ended, your moment would tank. Your moment wouldn't have any intrinsic value afterwards. But now with burning, your moment becomes more valuable because here's the reason why I didn't do the LaMelo challenge. I explained this to someone else, and I think this is a really good way of putting it. everyone who owned the LaMelo All-Star moment, which was the most accessible rare, that didn't want that moment sold it or burned it. So the people holding that moment now are people who want that moment and value that moment and aren't trying to immediately sell it. So as a result, that moment becomes significantly more valuable because all the people who had that moment, who was just waiting to move off it, had the opportunity to do that. So now the people holding that moment like actually want that moment. The people with the squad goals moment actually want that moment. So while the same amount of LaMelo rares exist, and still that could be a problem that might need to be fixed, those moments become more valuable at the same time. And I think that's really cool. Yeah, Kevin, exactly. I was just copying what I was taking a page out of the Top Shot playbook. I thought that was interesting. They went into maintenance mode, I believe, on the Top Shot website. They now, like, when you're scrolling the marketplace, it tells you how many were burned. I think that that's cool. It's not the internet, Weisberg. It's my computer. My computer like shuts down if it gets too hot, or if it gets if the electricity gets like overloaded. So like I said, I bought a new surge protector that has like 2 circuits instead of 1, so hopefully wouldn't overload. But I think it got a little too hot in here. I've been sweating, so I turned on the fan. I hope that doesn't mess too much of the audio up, but let me know. There are people that stack moments like the LaMelo All-Star, hoping it pumps so they can dump their bags at some point. Yeah, of course, Getty. And it's not like a flawless fix. It's not like every single person who has either of the moments now like is diamond handing this thing. But I do think it helps facilitate the off ramp for people to move off of moments. Like, and our example is like all these LeBron commons. Like, if someone wanted to move off their LeBrons, here's an off ramp. I think that's good. Or if you want to hold them, like, here's a little bump. Like, these are a little more valuable. The people wanting them to wanting the moments now are usually the ones holding it. Like, to this point, like, if someone stacked a bunch of those LaMelos, that would be the time to sell. So now unless there's not a lot of people left holding a stack that they're looking to sell, they've already probably sold. And so as a result, it's a good opportunity for people holding the moment to enjoy the moment and be able to hold it. Yeah, maybe I'll have to do that, Colton. I don't know if it's the computer. I thought it was software for a long time and went down that rabbit hole. We can talk later. We can talk later. And yeah, Weisberg, I need more UFC spec buying, period. But the computer should be good. It's weird. I got to figure it out. I'm not the best hardware guy. I'm a very good software guy. Yeah, exactly. Chicago. Yeah, there could be a bunch of things, Shiggins. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the best hardware guy. Definitely a software guy though. TST, I guess, dropped his third and final video breaking down rares for teams. I actually thought that was really, really cool. I ended up buying I think a Lillard and a PJ Washington after those videos. So TST influenced me, top tier influencer. I thought that was interesting though. I think that's why you have people like Rocket who have been pumping the Vassell. You had him pumping the Clay MGLE because of seeing those opportunities where it's like, hey, did you you guys are funny. There's a lot of opportunity right now. And I think that's really cool. Gosh, the problem is all these videos, I don't know what they're labeled. See, it's not labeled like PJ Washington. You would think that would make the most sense. But there it is.
PJ Washington. PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
All right. And I'm catching up with the chat. Like, if you guys want to DM me and walk me through some steps, it would be appreciated. Because yeah, like on the software side of things, I'm very good. I know what I'm doing. Hardware, there's a reason why I failed electrical engineering and switched majors from computer engineering to computer science. I'm not good with the hardware stuff. This is true, Wiseberry, except that pillow I made by hand. It's my crying pillow. I've actually had it for a long time. Whenever I make a bad trading decision, I grab it and I just let it all out. Like Borland said, it's soaked. It's soaked. Not lately though. It's starting to dry out. Been a lot of exciting things in Top Shot. All right. Is there anything? We made it an hour, but there was a bit of a break in between. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I know this was kind of a deep dive on burning. There were some other things I was like thinking about talking about, but we didn't get to. But I haven't heard anything super. I haven't heard a lot of people. They've kind of just, a lot of people are mentioning the burning challenges, saying, "Oh, this is cool," but not trying to look at the big picture here. And I think this is exciting, and I think the people who things have fundamentally changed. Before, like I said, when you got new moments or specific moments, you either completed the challenge or you sold. There's nothing in between. And I think a lot of people are still stuck on that, and it's going to take some time to adjust to that. And the people that adjust the fastest are the people that's going to benefit the most. And so I've been spending a lot of energy. Trying to really understand how these burn challenges work. Like I know how the burn challenges work, but like how it affects the marketplace, like big picture. I think Mike addressed this already. But basically, I mean, it's good that Top Shot is sticking to their roadmap. It's unfortunate that it took Project Pat's tweet for that to happen, but hey, like at least they're realizing, hey, we committed to this, we need to follow through, because even though we think that this is better, which it could be better, but you have to like build that trust with your user base. It's I've done it 2 years in a row now, so I'm kind of got it down to a science, but it's hot. It's hot. This was actually, Limbs, this was like one of my favorite parts of the Tandy stream yesterday, actually, was I thought he gave I think that was some solid advice he gave. And I think that's an important thing to consider. You can't sacrifice too much of yourself for someone else, because like otherwise you're not yourself, All right. I think we're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for tuning in and humoring me during the Jeb Thinks Out Loud session. Moving to Colton, I will be living. I have the reason. So I moved back in with my parents because I will be spending a lot of time in Mississippi for a work project soon. So it just didn't make sense for me to pay Southern California rent prices for an apartment I'm never going to be inside of. So yeah, I will not be moving there, but if you live in Mississippi, I will be in Mississippi a lot. Would love to meet you guys and hang out. I believe John Boy Beats is doing all day tomorrow, although I know he has been a little under the weather. Hope you're feeling better, John. So that might be up in the air now. I'm not sure, but I believe Mike has a plan for every single day. He did not schedule this one, and I woke up this morning to my alarm, which thankfully my phone did stay on and wake me up. And I was like, oh boy, I got to create a live stream. So But I do believe he has a schedule for every single day. I think we're going to be okay. And no, I will not be regular, at least at first. Maybe if there's a Pelicans game that I plan to go to, maybe on one of my flights over, I snag it and bring it along. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to coincide well with the heat in Mississippi. It's already hard enough to do in Vegas. Like add humidity to that, and that's not a pretty sight. All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for taking the time to hang out this morning marketplace. Thanks for discussing the crafting challenges with me and kind of just allowing me to think out loud. That always helps. And yeah, if you have any ideas or any like questions or whatever, like hit me up on Twitter. Go to actually Jeb Bush on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to release a lot of content there. I have a lot of exciting ideas soon that I'm really working on. I believe I'm working on a members only video, and I'm going to continue to roll out some content that I'm very excited about. I have a list, so hopefully we get to that and work doesn't get too much in the way. All right. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a great work day. Put your head down, grind it out, and enjoy the rest of the week. And I'll see you guys later. Let me find a video that I don't know where it is. See ya.
Well, the top side streets are